Hello and welcome to Tech Talk. I'm Joy Macknight, Technology Editor at The Banker, and I'm here with Georg Ludviksson, CEO of Meniga, an Icelandic startup that makes personal finance management solutions. Thank you so much for joining, Georg.
Thanks for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about Meniga and sort of the pain points, how the company started up, and then some of the pain points that you hope to solve?
Absolutely. Meniga is a 7 years old company. It started back in the financial crisis, which hit Iceland pretty hard. I had lived in the States some years before that and noticed a new kind of generation of personal finance management solutions emerging, such as Mint.com and others. And it's an area where I've always been super passionate. So when I moved back to Europe for family reasons, I wanted to start a company in this field. Motivated primarily by helping people better manage their money. I think there's a huge, it's one of the big issues of our time. If we can improve financial literacy and help just some people be a little bit more responsible and have a rainy day fund and so on, that can improve quality of life as well. But of course, you also have to build a business. So we made an early decision to work with banks, help them use online and mobile banking as the channel for this personal finance management. We believe these kinds of solutions belong in banks. They should be part of online banking. And at the same time, they can help the banks better serve their customers. And if we do a good job, we can claim some of that value. So we built a business selling software to banks. We started out of Iceland. The financial crisis was a blessing for this idea in the sense that we got some of the early talent, such as my co-founders that had been working for the fallen Icelandic banks and didn't have a job anymore. And also we had Icelandic households that had seen a big drop in purchasing power. And the recapitalized banks were under pressure to give them relief, so they bought our solutions early and we expanded from there, and now we serve many of the largest banks in the world and Europe, such as Santander in Spain, Commerzbank in Germany, and Intesa in Italy.
Excellent. And you recently launched Dialogue, which is a personalized sort of care platform. Can you talk a little bit about that and how it uses big data to give it that personalized service?
Sure. We started with personal finance management, and one of the key things we were trying to do was kind of make sense of people's financial behavior and spending behavior. So using the data to be able to provide those, help people understand and manage their money is our core competence. And we have invested heavily. We raised some venture money 3 years ago to invest heavily in big data analytics on people's transactions and spending histories. And Dialogue is one of the results of that R&D and product work. So the fundamental idea is to make online and mobile banking super personalized. If you think about it, banks know a whole lot about us based on our transactions and financial behavior. They know where we live, where we work, where we spend our money, where we go on vacation. So it's about helping the banks have a personalized conversation, both about interpreting our finances, such as telling me I've spent so and so much at Starbucks since the beginning of the year, but also better recommend their own products and services. So I think most people don't feel that their online banking is personal or let alone inspiring. So there's a lot of opportunity to do better, and that's what Dialogue is all about.
Okay. And why, in your experience, why do you think that retail banks have had such a hard time in sort of delivering that personalized experience to their customers?
Several reasons. That's not for the lack of will, but there are, maybe 3 reasons. First, they've been reluctant to use the data. They've seen it as somewhat risky, that's not their business to kind of, it can be seen as big brother-ish. So, but now I think they're realizing that they have to, the data is key to create a personalized and better user experience. If they don't do it, someone else will. PSD2 is coming, which will probably force banks to give startups and others access to people's data with their customers' permission, meaning that it opens the door for other companies to provide this service. So I think they realize they have to use the data. And if you do it well and tell people something insightful or something you don't know and keep their interest at mind and tread carefully, it's an absolute win-win scenario. You just create a better user experience and people are generally fine with that.
Okay, and just maybe my last question is around how can Meniga actually help retail banks really move forward in their digitalization strategy?
In several ways. I think the banks that choose to work with us, they do so for many reasons. One is that we can help them build better online and mobile banking faster with our software components. And we also, I think, help them think about future strategy. We're trying to, their business is under pressure. Interest rates are low, there's record investment in fintech, they're afraid of the big tech companies potentially moving into their space. So, but they have a lot of strengths that they can use to defend and defend their space, such as the data, such as the online and mobile bank, which all of us have to use at some point. So we're trying to tell them to think of their online bank as something much more than it is today, not just a place to do banking, but also as a place to help people generally become smarter consumers. And think of it as a platform where they can invite other companies to, for example, compete for consumers' business and create new business models and services around that.
Thank you so much, Georg. I really appreciate you coming in today.
Thanks so much for having me.